Yo, what's up, everybody? It's your boy Nar for the Nar Report. Back today with another episode 7. Today, I'll be talking about the Alabama and Vanderbilt game from this past weekend. Alabama has been upset by Vanderbilt. Alabama was the number one team in the nation and got upset by an unranked team named Vanderbilt. I will talk about the news that broke out from the NFL earlier. The New York Jets have fired Robert Saleh as their head coach. Week 5 of the NFL season is in the books, and I'll give y'all my Week 6 NFL predictions and recap all of the Week 5 games. Let's get into it. Starting off with the Alabama and Vanderbilt game. Vanderbilt upsets Alabama 40-35 in a good game. That was a very good game. Alabama put up a good fight. Let's talk about it. Alabama played solid, but it wasn't enough to get the win against Vanderbilt. Looking at the stats for Jalen Monroe, first of all, Jalen Monroe, whatever his name is, shout out to him. This dude is a very good quarterback for Alabama. But he had a rough game. 18 for 24 for completion. Threw for 310 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, and 2 sacks. Jalen Morello had a solid game, but it wasn't enough to get the win against Vanderbilt. Alabama's offense did their thing. Jalen Morello, the wide receivers, the running back, everybody on offense did their thing. But where was the defense for Alabama? Where was this Alabama defense? You let Vanderbilt put up 40 points on you. 40. And this team is not even actually ranked. Alabama, you were the number one team in the nation, and you get upset by Vanderbilt? Come on. Like, hey, upsets happen, but I did not see this coming. And that's it. Vanderbilt wins 40-35 at home. And that was a huge game. Man, those Vanderbilt fans took down the field goal post off the field and they dragged it out in the streets. Man, that was everything. What a win by Vanderbilt. Now moving on to the NFL. We have some breaking news coming for you. The New York Jets have fired Robert Saleh as their head coach, and I'm here to give out my reaction. This is shocking news to me. I really didn't see this coming, but and the reason why I said this is because Aaron Rodgers and Robert Saleh haven't even worked things out yet. This is their first season together, minus last season when Rodgers got hurt. And you fire Robert Saleh? They're 2-3. I understand that, but you got to give him a chance for Aaron Rodgers to see how things go out. I still believe that they'll make the playoffs, but I had a feeling he was going to get fired because I heard some talks about it. Now moving on to Week 5 of the NFL season, I'm here to recap all of the games. Starting off with the Thursday night game, we got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Atlanta Falcons. Falcons win 36-30 in Atlanta in the NFC South rivalry showdown on Thursday Night Football. What a game. What a finish this was. Kirk Gold Chains, has arrived in Atlanta. This is why we brought him here. He was that guy tonight. Kirk Cousins was that dude tonight. Let's look at his stats. 42 for 58 for completion, 72.4% for completion. Threw for 509 yards. He broke the franchise record. Threw for 4 touchdowns and 1 interception. Kirk Cousins, you had a night. What a way to ball out. And I'm pretty excited we brought Kirk Cousins to Atlanta because I knew he could do these things. And if you look at the Atlanta Falcons, we got 3 wins of the season, and those 3 wins came from Kirk Cousins driving the ball down the field to get us in a position to win the game. Against the Eagles, we needed a touchdown to win. He drove us down the field and got us the touchdown. The Saints, we beat them by a game-winning field goal. He drove us down the field. And then Thursday night, we went into overtime. And he scored a touchdown. And before overtime, he drove us down the field and gave us the game time field goal from Young Wei Koo. Shout out to Koo, man. This dude is the best kicker that we ever had. And everybody else had a good game too. Bijan had a good game. 12 attempts, 61 yards for rushing. Tyler Algier, he had a good game. 6 attempts, 12 yards. No touchdowns. And our receivers, Drake London, good game. 13 targets, 12 receptions for 154 yards and 1 touchdown. Darnell Mooney, 16 targets, 9 receptions for 105 yards and 2 touchdowns. Darnell Mooney had a game as well too. And he's been a pretty good wide receiver ever since he arrived in Atlanta. And Cardell Hodge with the game-winning touchdown. He had a good game as well too. 2 targets, 2 receptions for 67 yards and 1 touchdown. Kyle Pitts, we finally giving him involved. 8 targets, 7 receptions for 88 yards. No touchdowns. See, we got to feed Kyle Pitts the ball. It's going to help our offense a lot. And keep feeding Bijan, Drake, and Mooney. Because Mooney is doing very good in Atlanta so far. Now let's go to the Buccaneers. The Buccaneers played a great game. Baker did his thing. 19 for 24 for completion. Threw for 180 yards, 3 touchdowns, and no interceptions. Bucks, y'all played great, but y'all should have won this game. There were a couple of mistakes at the end. That holding call that knocked y'all out of field goal range. Give Atlanta the ball back. Down 3. Drove the ball down the field and kicked the game time field goal. Bucks made a couple mistakes at the end. And then earlier on, before the 2-minute warning, the Bucks fumbled the ball. Like, the Bucks had this game in the bag. But let's look at the receiving. Mike Evans had a night. He had a night. 7 targets, 5 receptions for 62 yards and 2 touchdowns. Mike Evans carried the offense in that game because our defense couldn't do nothing with him. The Bucks offense is very good. The run game is good. The passing game is good. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are a very good football team. And that's it. Falcons win 36-30 against the Bucks in overtime. Moving on to the Sunday game, we're going to London. We got the New York Jets and the Minnesota Vikings. Vikings win 23-17 in London. Vikings 5-0 of the season, still undefeated. Let's talk about it. Sam Darnold is that dude right now. He should be the favorite to win MVP. All right, let's get out the way. Sam Darnold is the MVP right now. The Minnesota Vikings are the best team in the NFL right now. Sam Darnold, looking at his stats, 14 for 31 for completion, threw for 179 yards, 0 touchdowns, and 1 interception. Justin Jefferson, 14 targets, 6 receptions for 92 yards and 0 touchdown. But this was all on the Vikings defense, okay? The Vikings defense really won in the game. The offense really didn't have to do that much. I'm not saying that the offense played bad, but the defense really won in the game. The offense did their thing as well, too. Sam Darnold, he did his thing. He's going to keep doing his thing, continue to ball out, and give the Minnesota Vikings a win. But, hey, the Vikings are the best team in the NFL. Let's just go ahead and get that out the way. Now let's go to the Jets. Aaron Rodgers did not have a good game. 29 for 54 for completion, threw for 244 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 3 interceptions. The Jets had a chance to win the game in the final seconds. Aaron Rodgers throws a pick. Aaron Rodgers, you got to be better than that, man. Y'all are 2-3 of the season. Y'all have a huge Monday night game coming up against the Buffalo Bills at home. And I have this New York Jets team making the playoffs. But I feel like they'll find a rhythm and once they find their new head coach. But everything will be good in New York. And that's it. Vikings win 23-17 in London, and they're now 5-0 this season. Next game, we had a thriller in Cincinnati. The Baltimore Ravens defeated the Cincinnati Bengals 41-38 in overtime. This is game of the year right here. Game of the year. let's just go to the end of the game. All right, let's just go to the end of the game. Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens got the ball down 3. Justin Tucker kicks the field goal to tie it. Send it to overtime. In overtime, Ravens got the ball. Ravens were marching down the field in good field position. Lamar Jackson fumbles the ball. He wasn't ready for the snap. Bengals got the ball. Good field position. All they need is a field goal. And what happened? The kick was no good. The snapper was wrong. It just didn't go well for the Bengals. Now let's talk about the whole game. Lamar Jackson had a good game. 26 for 42 for completion. Threw for 348 yards, 4 touchdowns, and 0 interceptions. What a game by Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens, as they're now 3-2 of the season. The Baltimore Ravens, to me, are the best team in the AFC right now. And I know y'all going to say, but the Chiefs are 5-0. They're the defending Super Bowl champions. I get that. But the way the Baltimore Ravens have been playing throughout the first 5 weeks of the season, they just been playing great. King Henry is him. King Henry is carrying the offense for the Baltimore Ravens. Looking at his stats, 15 attempts, ran for 92 yards and 1 touchdown. King Henry won them the game in overtime. When the Ravens got the ball, King Henry ran the ball down the field, set up first and goal from like the 5-yard line. Justin Tucker comes onto the field and wins it. Ravens. The Baltimore Ravens are back. Okay, they started off 0-2. They're now on a good start. They're now 3-2 of the season. Let's go to the Bengals. Joe Burrow, he had a good game. 30 for 39 for completion, threw for 392 yards, 5 touchdowns, and 1 interception. Burrow, he had a good game as well, too. But how did the Cincinnati Bengals lose this game? Like, this is why I don't understand. How did the Cincinnati Bengals lose this game? Like, they had it. Burrow, at the end, when it was like 3 minutes left, just run the ball. There was no need for him to throw the ball. Once he threw the ball, it was an interception. Give the Ravens the ball back. Down 3 with a chance to either tie it or win it. But this was a good game for both teams overall. Both offenses were good. The defense were good. But the Ravens just got the win in overtime. And that's it. Ravens win 41-38 against the Bengals in OT. That is game of the year. Moving on. We got the Jacksonville Jaguars defeating the Indianapolis Colts 37-34 in Jacksonville. Let me just go ahead and say this right now. Whenever the Indianapolis Colts and the Jacksonville Jaguars play each other in Jacksonville, the Jaguars always seem to have their number. Like, I don't know what's up with this. Like, the Colts can't win in Jacksonville, but that needs to be studied. The Jaguars own the Colts. Now let's look at the stats. Trevor Lawrence, 28 for 34 for completion, threw for 371 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 interception. Trevor Lawrence had a good game for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Their offense was good. The defense was good. Jaguars get their first win of the season. Let's look at the Colts. Joe Flacco continues to ball out. I can't believe this dude is still playing in the NFL. Let's look at his stats. 33 for 44 for completion, threw for 359 yards, 3 touchdowns, and no interceptions. Man, Joe Flacco is still him. He can really play till he's 45 like Tom Brady. Just saying. But the Colts, they played a good game as well too, but it just wasn't enough to get the win against the Jags. And that's it. Congratulations to the Jacksonville Jaguars for getting their first win of the season. They are now 1-4. What a game in Jacksonville. Moving on, in Foxborough, we got the Miami Dolphins defeating the New England Patriots 50-10 in a low-scoring game. This was more of a defensive game. Both defenses played great. Both offenses Both offenses, they play great. Let's look at the stats for the Dolphins. Tyler Huntley, 18 for 31 for completion, threw for 194 yards, 0 touchdowns, and 1 interception. Tyler Huntley, he had a rushing touchdown. He had a good game as well. The Dolphins' offense was great. The defense was good. This was more of a defensive game for both teams. Now let's look at the Patriots. Jacoby Brissett, 18 for 34 for completion, threw for 160 yards, 0 touchdowns, and 0 interceptions. And if you don't notice, Drake May will be the starting quarterback for the New England Patriots next week when they take on the Houston Texans at home. And he will ball out. But all I got to say is it's about time the New England Patriots bench Jacoby Brissett for Drake May. I was like, when is he going to get benched? Hey, and now he's been benched. But that's all I got to say. The Dolphins pick up their first win without Tua Tagovailoa this season. They are now 2-3. Moving on to the next game. We got the Carolina Panthers and the Chicago Bears. Bears win 36-10. In Chicago, they blow out the Panthers, just like I expected. The Chicago Bears got better. Yes, the Chicago Bears have got better. They're now 3-2 of the season. Caleb Williams is starting to play better now. The offensive line is starting to block. The defense is great. And the offense is so elite. Caleb Williams has so many weapons. Let's look at his stats. 20 for 29 for completion, threw for 304 yards and 2 touchdowns. Caleb Williams, congratulations. You are now the franchise quarterback for the Chicago Bears. DeAndre Swift, he had a touchdown. 21 attempts for 73 yards. DJ Moore, he had 2 touchdowns against his former team. And looking back at the trade, the Bears won the trade. Okay, let's go ahead and get out the way. The Chicago Bears won the trade. The Panthers did not get no better. Now let's look at the Panther stats for Andy Dalton. 18 for 28 for completion, threw for 136 yards, 0 touchdowns, 1 interception. Bryce Young came into the game for the first time since he's been benched. 4 for 7 for completion, threw for 58 yards, no touchdowns and no interceptions, and he was sacked 1 time. Bryce Young, he had some good playing time, and he did great. But the Panthers still lost. But that's all I got to say. The Chicago Bears pick up a huge win against the Panthers, 36-10. Now we go to Houston with the Houston Texans and the Buffalo Bills. Texans win 23-20 off of a game-winning field goal. Let's talk about it. Let's go to the Texans. CJ Stroud is a dog. Okay? This dude is a top 5 quarterback in the AFC. Looking at his stats, 28 for 38 for completion, threw for 331 yards, 1 touchdown, and 1 interception. And here's the thing about CJ Stroud. He really doesn't throw no interceptions. The only time he gets an interception is if the ball is tipped. That's it. Because CJ Stroud doesn't throw no interceptions, like 0 interceptions. The offense for the Houston Texans was great. They got an elite offense, and the defense did their thing as well, too. Now let's look at the Buffalo Bills. Josh Allen had an awful game. 9 for 34 completion attempts. 100 threw for 131 yards and only 1 touchdown. Josh Allen had an awful game, but looking at the other stats, Josh Allen had a touchdown, James Cook had a touchdown, and Keon Coleman had a touchdown. Shout out to that new wide receiver over there in Buffalo. That dude is a stud. The Bills are now 3-2 of the season, and the Texans are now 4-1. The Bills, they started off 3-0, and now they lost 2 straight. And that's it. Texans win 23-20 at home in the AFC Showdown. Stephon Diggs went up against his former team. He had a great game as well. Next game, we got the Cleveland Browns and the Washington Commanders. Commanders destroyed the Browns 34-13 in Washington. The Washington Commanders are for real, okay? They are for real. And I'm going to go ahead and say this right now. The Washington Commanders will win the NFC East. Okay? I just feel like the way Jaden Daniels is playing, the offense is great. They got a solid defense. I just feel like the Washington Commanders are going to win the NFC East. And if they don't win the division, they will make the playoffs. Okay? Because they are a good team to make the playoffs. Let's look at the stats for Jaden Daniels. 14 for 25 for completion, threw for 238 yards, 1 touchdown, and 1 interception. Hey, I'm here to let y'all know right now. Jaden Daniels is the best quarterback in the NFC East right now. He is. And the best quarterback. Well, he's not the best quarterback in the NFC right now because that's Sam Darnold. But Jaden Daniels is the best quarterback in the division. Excuse me. Bless me. Now let's look at the Browns stats for Deshaun Watson. 15 for 28 for completion, threw for 125 yards, 1 touchdown, and no interceptions. It's time to bench Deshaun Watson, Cleveland. Just go ahead and bench Deshaun Watson right now. Start Jameis Winston, okay? Because the Brown season is officially over. So, and why did y'all pay Deshaun Watson all that money? Mr. Fully Guaranteed? Just for him to do this? Come on. Like, Cleveland Browns, what are y'all doing? And I remember that one time Falcons fans wanted this dude. I'm glad we didn't sign him. We dodged a huge bullet. And that's it. Commanders won 34-13 and improved to 4-1 of the season. Now we go to the 4 o'clock games. We have an upset at San Francisco with the Cardinals beating the 49ers 24-23. The 49ers, you had this game won, okay? It was first and goal with like 6 minutes left. You had the ball. The running back runs it and then fumbles the ball. What are you doing? They could at least got a field goal out of that possession for them to at least make it a touchdown game, which means, well, let me get this straight. It was 23-21 49ers, right? They had the ball. It was first and goal. The running back, what does he do? Fumble the football. Give the Cardinals the ball with like 6 minutes left. The Cardinals drive the ball down the field and kicks the field goal to take the lead. And then at the end, Brock Purdy throws an interception. Cardinals win. Let's look at the stats. Brock Purdy, he had an okay game. 19 for 35 for completion, threw for 244 yards, 1 touchdown, and 2 interceptions. He really didn't have that much of a good game. Brock Purdy, he struggled during that Cardinals defense because the Cardinals defense played great. Okay, they were the better team throughout this whole game. Now let's look at the stats for Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray had an amazing game. 19 for 30 for completion, threw for 195 yards, 1 touchdown, and 1 interception. And he had that rushing touchdown from the 50. When Kyler Murray did this at the 40-yard line, I was like, touchdown. Kyler Murray balled out. Okay, the offense was great. The defense played phenomenal against the 49ers. That was an upset, baby. I understand that the 49ers are dealing with injuries, but they got to get their guys back. They have to get their guys back if they want to make a late run. And that's it. Cardinals win 24-23. Next game, we go to Denver with the Las Vegas Raiders and the Denver Broncos. Broncos win 34-18. The Denver Broncos, they're playing good right now. Nobody expected the Denver Broncos to be 3-2 right now. Because did any one of y'all expect the Broncos to be 3-2? Anybody? I didn't. But shout out to Bo Nix. He is over there balling right now. The defense is good. Patrick Surtain is a top 10 corner in the National Football League. The Raiders didn't have a good game. They were out Devontae Adams. I mean, no surprise because he requested a trade. But the Denver Broncos, I feel like the Broncos can make the playoffs. Okay? With the team they got, shout out to Sean Payton for what he's doing over there as a head coach. Bo Nix, he's doing his thing, leading the Broncos to the win. The Broncos started off 0-2, and they're now 3-2 of this NFL season. And that's it. But first, let me get to the stats real quick. Bo Nix, he had an amazing game. Bo Nix played like he's their guy for the Denver Broncos. And I'm glad that the Denver Broncos found a franchise quarterback for the future. Looking at his stats right now. Bo Nix, 19 for 27 for completion, threw for 206 yards, 2 touchdowns, and no interceptions. Bo Nix is him. Bo Nix is him. Now let's look at the stats for the Raiders. Gardner Minshew, 12 for 17 for completion, threw for 1 touchdown and 2 interceptions. That was a bad game by Gardner Minshew. I think they need to bench him and start Aiden McConnell at this time. And that's it. Broncos with a huge win, 34-18 against the Raiders. And then we go to Los Angeles with the Los Angeles Rams and the Green Bay Packers. Packers win 24-19 in LA. Jordan Love is back. Okay, he had a good game. 15 for 26 for completion, threw for 24 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 interception. What a game by Jordan Love. Since Jordan Love is back healthy, the Green Bay Packers are on a run to make it to the NFC Championship game. Yes, I believe that the Green Bay Packers are good enough to make it to the NFC Championship. Let's look at the stats for the Rams. Matthew Stafford, he didn't have a good game. 29 for 45 for completion, threw for 260 yards, 1 touchdown, and 1 interception. And that was a good game overall. Both teams, they put up a fight. Matthew Stafford did his thing. Jordan Love did his thing. Both offense did their thing. The defense did their thing. It was a good game, okay? But the Packers, congratulations for them getting the win. And then we go to Seattle. We have an upset. The New York Giants defeated the Seattle Seahawks 29-20 in Seattle. Daniel Jones had a good game. 23 for 34 for completion, threw for 257 yards, 2 touchdowns, and no interception. Let's go right to the fourth quarter with 2 minutes left to go. Seahawks got the ball. Geno Smith runs for like 30, 40 yards, gets them into field goal range. They need a field goal to tie it. What happens? Isaiah Simmons blocks the field goal and takes it all the way back for the touchdown. Giants win right there. And what happened to the Seahawks? They were 3-0 and they lost 2 straight to the Lions and to the Giants. How did y'all lose to the Giants at home? But upsets happen. This NFL season has been crazy. Let's look at the stats for Geno Smith. Geno Smith, he had a rough game. 28 for 40 for completion, threw for 248 yards and 1 touchdown. That's not enough to beat the Giants. I feel like Daniel Jones outplayed Geno Smith in this game. Because he really did. Daniel Jones looked like Eli Manning. But that's all I got to say about the game. Giants win 29-20. Next up, we go to Sunday night. Got the Dallas Cowboys defeated the Pittsburgh Steelers 20-17. First of all, why was this game so late? Okay, this game didn't end until 1 o'clock in the morning. 1 in the morning. I'm telling you, I fell asleep when the Cowboys were up 13-10. I was like, yeah, the Steelers gonna win this game. So when it was 13-10 in the fourth quarter, The Steelers scored a touchdown, and then Cowboys drove the ball down the field. Dak Prescott with the game-winning touchdown. And on 3rd and goal, they almost lost the game right there. Okay, the Steelers should have won this game. Let's look at the stats for Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott, he had a good game. 29 for 42 for completion, threw for 352 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. Solid game for Dak Prescott. Now let's go to the Steelers. Justin Fields, 15 for 27 for completion, threw for 131 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 0 interceptions. Justin Fields, he had a good game. The offense was great. The defense was good. This was a good game overall for both teams. Dak Prescott, he had a solid game. The offense was good. The defense played great. Cowboys found a way to win this game, which this game should have been won by the Pittsburgh Steelers. And that's it. Cowboys win 20-17, 3-2 of the season. Last game for week 5, we go to Monday night, which is last night. The Kansas City Chiefs defeated the New Orleans Saints 26-13 at Arrowhead Stadium. The Chiefs are the Chiefs. They are now 5-0 this season. They keep continuing to find ways to win games. Let's look at the stats. Patrick Mahomes, good game. 28 for 39 for completion, threw for 231 yards, 0 touchdowns, and 1 interception. Mahomes didn't even have a touchdown, and he still had a good game. This was more on Kareem Hunt. He had a touchdown. Xavier Worthy, he had a touchdown. This Kansas City Chiefs offense is still good when Rashee Rice is out for the season. Praise up to Rashee, man. He will be missed for the Kansas City Chiefs. Now let's go to the Saints stats. Derek Carr, he had a sloppy game. 18 for 28 for completion, threw for 165 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 interception. Derek Carr has been hurt. He is injured, and he will miss the next couple of games. With what kind of injury is it? I'm going to see what kind of injury is it. An oblique injury. So he'll be out for the next couple of games. Rattle will be the starting quarterback for the Saints. And that's it for week 5. What a week 5 it was in the NFL season. And I can't believe that week 5 is over. This season is going by so fast. And now we go to my week 6 NFL predictions. Starting off with the Thursday night game, we got the San Francisco 49ers and the Seattle Seahawks. Both teams looking to bounce back after their rough loss at home. I'm going to go with the Seahawks at home. I believe they'll bounce back after those 2 losses and redeem themselves, and they'll go 4-2 of the season. Next, we got a London game. The Jacksonville Jaguars and the Chicago Bears. We have another London game of the season. Give me the Bears over the Jaguars. And I believe this will be a very close game. And then we go to the 1 o'clock games. We got the Washington Commanders and the Baltimore Ravens. This will be a good game. Jaden Daniels versus Lamar Jackson. Jaden Daniels is Lamar Jackson 2.0. So he will ball out. Okay, Lamar will ball out. This is going to be a good game overall. Both offenses are good. Both of them got a good defense. But this game comes down to which offense can score more points. And give me the Ravens to beat the Commanders in a close game. Next game, we got the Cardinals and the Packers. Give me the Packers to beat the Cardinals at home. And I feel like this will be a close game. I won't be surprised if the Cardinals win. Houston Texans, New England Patriots. Give me the Texans. Drake May will be starting. So that's just an easy win for the Texans. We got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the New Orleans Saints. I'm going with the Bucs. Derek Carr is out. But as a Falcons fan, depending on division rates, we need the Saints to win. But I'm going with the Bucs. The Cleveland Browns and the Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles. Come on now. The Browns suck, okay? Watson, if Watson is not benched by next game, there's a problem. Colts, Titans, give me the Colts. Chargers, Broncos, give me the Broncos. Bo Nix is playing phenomenal right now. Steelers, Raiders, give me the Steelers. Falcons, Panthers, y'all know who I'm rolling with. Give me my Atlanta Falcons. Lions, Cowboys, give me the Cowboys at home. This is going to be a very good game. And when I'm looking at this game, these two teams met each other last year in week 17. Lions should have won that game. But I feel like the Cowboys will get the job done at home in a very hard-fought, close game. Sunday night, we got the Bengals and Giants. I'm going with the Bengals. And if the Bengals don't win this game, next episode, there are going to be some serious conversations about the Cincinnati Bengals. So they better win this game. Or else what I'm going to say next week ain't going to be too good. And then last but not least, Monday Night Football, the Buffalo Bills and the New York Jets. Both teams looking forward to bounce back. Give me the Jets at home to beat the Bills. And this will be for first place in the division. And those are my Week 6 NFL predictions. Thanks for everybody that joined. That concludes today's show. Make sure y'all go follow me on all of my social media platforms, Instagram and TikTok at _NAR_report. Nard out.